Tonight on Nebraska Nightly.
3 abortion-related initiatives could be on the Nebraska ballot in Nebraska.
The jury for Trump's next court case has been chosen.
And new developments on the sale of alcohol at Haymarket Park. This is Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Skylar Sears.
And I'm Noah Carmichael. Our top story today.
All over Nebraska, American flags were flown at half-staff this week in honor of Officer Ross Bartlett. Across the state, there was a radio call on honoring his service.
306, Officer Ross Bartlett served in law enforcement and the fire services for 30 years with the Valentine Police Department, Boone County Sheriff's Office, Madison Police Department, Madison County Sheriff's Office, Madison County Fire Department, Newman Grove Police Department, Village of Ceresco Police Department, Ceresco Fire Department, and the Nebraska Department of Correctional Services, steadfast in serving the members of these communities. Officer Bartlett has answered his last call. End of watch, April 12, 2024. A true public servant. Your dedication to duty and devotion to your family was unequivocal. You will always be remembered and never forgotten.
During a routine traffic stop, a pickup truck crashed into police officer Ross Bartlett's vehicle. He later died at the hospital from his injuries. Officer Bartlett spent 7 years with the Ceresco Police Department, 7 years as an investigator with the Nebraska Department of Correctional Services, and spent his free time as a volunteer firefighter at the local fire station. Bartlett's funeral service was held this morning at St. Mark's Church in Lincoln. Following the service, a procession took Officer Bartlett's body to Roper & Sons. Visitation hours are until 7 p.m. tonight at the Roper & Sons South Chapel. American flags throughout Nebraska will stay at half-staff until 5 p.m.
A former Omaha substitute teacher is charged with 1 count of felony sexual abuse and is being held on a bond of $25,000 after being arrested last weekend. 45-year-old Aaron Ward is being accused of sexually assaulting and grooming a 17-year-old boy from Burke High School, where she taught. Ward is a mother of 3 children and married to a high-ranking federal employee. Police arrested her after a 911 call reported a suspicious vehicle near 189th Street and Military Road. Deputies say when they arrived, the boy jumped into the driver's seat and drove 2 blocks before crashing into a yard and running off to the Newport Landing neighborhood. He was wearing boxers, a t-shirt, and socks. After he ran out, deputies found Ward getting dressed in the back seat. Authorities say Ward admitted to having sex with the teenager. Omaha Public Schools confirmed Ward will not be returning to the district. The press release says the victim is in a safe place to receive care. Both the boy and Ward are receiving medical care for the minor injuries after the crash. She is facing up to 20 years in prison and is currently on suicide watch.
Lincoln Police identified the 2 men killed in the Southeast Lincoln crash over the weekend. The passengers who died in the crash were 23-year-old Omar Rios and 21-year-old Darian Rosales. The driver, a 34-year-old, remains hospitalized and is being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The crash happened on Sunday on South 28th Street and Pine Lake Road just before 5:45 a.m. Police say the preliminary investigation determined a Honda Pilot was speeding west on Pine Lake Road. It left the north side road, rolled, and hit a tree. The crash ejected one of the passengers. They both died at the scene. Police say alcohol is suspected to be a contributing factor in the crash. Charges are pending against the driver at this time.
Abortion continues to be a divisive issue across the nation. Arizona is battling over a Civil War-era law that now governs the Southwest state's abortion guidelines. Now abortion rights fuel debate in the Nebraska legislature, with 3 potential ballot measures introduced, each with a different focus, as Nebraska Nightly's Joel Bierbauer reports. All the proposals in Amendment LB 574, which Governor Pillen signed into law in May 2023.
The current law bans all abortions after 12 weeks, exceptions for incest, rape, or to save the mother's life. The ban took effect last year immediately upon signing. There are 3 ballot measures, each with a different focus. One initiative allows the right to an abortion until fetal viability outside the womb as determined as a healthcare professional, typically 24 weeks. The second is a proposed amendment to the current law to allow for medical emergency. The third proposed measure prohibits all abortion drugs and procedures.
It essentially puts what we had before Roe v. Wade was overturned back into, puts it into the Nebraska Constitution. And what these abortion bans do is insert politics into medical decisions when we know that these decisions need to be left between a patient and their doctor and whoever else they choose to involve, but not politicians.
Critics of abortion bans voice concerns that the current law does not include exceptions for fetal anomalies. Also, delays in prenatal care may force women to seek abortions after the 12-week point.
I think. But it's been kind of supercharged ever since the Dobbs decision came down that, reversed Roe versus Wade from the 70s. It's sad that it's become a political issue because it really isn't. It shouldn't be, but it's become that.
Proponents of the current law hope to enact stricter rules like the ban on abortion drugs.
In order to get these initiatives on the November 2024 ballot, petitioners must obtain 123,000 signatures by July 3rd. For Nebraska Nightly, I'm Joel Bierbauer.
The initiative organizers will need signatures from 10% of Nebraska registered voters by July 3rd to get the initiations on the November ballot. The man accused of punching a 55-year-old in the head and killing him in downtown Lincoln took a plea deal on Thursday.
23-year-old Angel Rodriguez Alves is charged with manslaughter, terroristic threats, and abuse of a vulnerable adult in the death of James Baylor. In exchange for a plea of no contest, prosecutors downgraded a first-degree assault charge to terroristic threats.
Prosecutors allege that Alves punched Baylor in the face on August 27, 2023, causing him to fall and hit his head near 13th and P. Baylor was hospitalized with a serious head injury. He died days later on September 5th.
Lancaster County Judge Matthew Meller scheduled Alves' sentence for May 31st at 1:30 p.m. It's been a bleak week with the rain and wind.
Our local meteorologist Dominic Ferrero has more details. Dominic?
Thank you, Noah. Well, we're sticking around with the cloudy skies here for the next couple days. However, this weekend's looking a little better. Let's take ahead and look at tonight. Nebraska taking on Maryland here at Haymarket Park. Start at 4 p.m. We clocked in at 57 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and then as we move to our first pitch tonight at 6:05 p.m., 57 degrees there, mostly cloudy skies, and winds will be out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So if you're heading out there, grabbing a jacket would not be a terrible idea. At 8 p.m. we'll drop to 53, maybe see a couple rays of sunshine here and there. And then as we close out 10 p.m., we've dropped all the way down to 42. So any afternoon or after plans, maybe hitting O Street afterwards, 42 degrees there, grab a jacket. It's going to be a little chilly, and wind could still be a factor. We'll have the rest of your weekend and the week ahead for the capital city after the break. Back to you.
Thanks, Dominic. Coming up on Nebraska Nightly.
Pro-Palestinian protests go national.
The jury for Trump's trial has been chosen.
And a new study shows how climate change will affect the future.
Okay, so how about this much?
I don't know.
Well, how about this much?
I don't know.
How about...
Actually, I don't know.
Okay, maybe this much?
I don't know.
The very tip of your pencil, a fraction of a raindrop, 3 grains of salt. That's how much it takes for a dose of fentanyl to become lethal. Learn more at realdealonfentanyl.com.
3, 2, 1.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
If you're a student at UNL and have ever been interested in reporting or video production, Nebraska Nightly is your place.
Big Bob!
Here you can build creative skills no matter how much experience you have.
Our equipment is very, very high level here, and it's something that a lot of times a lot of people wouldn't get to access until they're kind of in a professional workspace.
Talk to a UNL advisor about joining Nebraska Nightly.
It's been a mix of rain, wind, and humidity these last few days. Our local meteorologist Dominic Ferraro has more details on how we might see a nicer weekend. Dominic?
Thank you, Skylar. Currently in the capital city right now, we got mostly cloudy skies, 57 degrees for your temperature there. Winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Looking ahead into your evening, we'll drop down to 31 degrees for your low temperature tonight. Partly cloudy skies. Winds will be now out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And kicking your weekend off on Saturday, partly cloudy skies, 55 degrees for your high temperature there. Winds north-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Maybe a light jacket tomorrow. But other than that, a nice start to the weekend. Taking a look at the next 18 hours. So if we look up into Canada here, this low pressure system is what brought us some rain earlier this week and now bringing rain across most of the eastern part of the country. High pressure system over the central part of the country has kept us pretty nice over the past couple of days. And as we work our way over the next 6 hours here, we start to see that rain chance develop across the northern part of Texas, and that'll work or deepen into the south throughout the next 6 to 12, 18 hours. That high pressure system is going to maintain in place over the central part of the country. And then by the end of tomorrow, we're looking at maybe a chance for a few flurries out in the western part of the state. Current satellite imagery, we got that system working its way east across the country. And just at the start of this afternoon, across western parts of Nebraska, we saw some clouds fire up that are now working their way into the capital city area. Statewide temperatures right now, 47 degrees up in Valentine, 41 out in Scottsbluff, and 47 in North Platte. And taking a look over onto the eastern side of the state, still up in 50 degrees in Ord, 51 in Norfolk, and 56 over in Omaha. The rest of your week starting out in the mid-50s, and then into Sunday, we'll get rid of the clouds, mostly sunny skies, 63 degrees for your temperature. And then as we start the week on Monday, we'll warm up. However, AM showers bringing cloudy skies into Monday afternoon. And then we lose the clouds on Tuesday. However, the wind returns, and we'll top out in the upper 60s on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, mostly sunny skies, 68 degrees for your high there. We'll see an overnight rain chance spreading into Thursday morning. The clouds return, 74 degrees for your high there. And then we'll close out the week on Saturday with some showers and 72 degrees for your high. Back to you at the desk.
Pro-Palestinian demonstrators temporarily blocked roadways across the United States Monday. The protesters happened in Illinois, California, New York, and the Pacific Northwest. They hindered access to airports, the Golden Gate Bridge, and a busy West Coast highway, affecting travel all over the country. Protesters called for an immediate ceasefire in the war between Hamas and Israel.
A full 12-person jury has now been seated for Donald Trump's hush money criminal trial in New York City. The panel includes 7 men and 5 women, plus 6 alternates. Meanwhile, the prosecution is refusing to share its witness list with the defense because of Trump's previous tweets about witnesses. Trump faces 34 felony counts of falsifying business records for his alleged role in a scheme before the 2016 election. It is reported this afternoon a man set himself on fire in front of the Manhattan courthouse. The fire is contained and the man has been taken from the scene in an ambulance, and bystanders say he was somewhat responsive.
Global warming may be a burning hole in the world's wallet. That's according to a study published Wednesday in the journal Nature. Climate issues are expected to cause $38 trillion worth of economic damage by the year 2050. If correct, that translates to roughly 20% fall in global income over the next 26 years. Researchers say extreme weather can get expensive, with damage repair needed after severe flooding and raging wildfires. The study argues that the economic drop would lessen all the nations if all nations took part in the Paris Climate Agreement.
Coming up after the break.
Alcohol sales have been improved in Haymarket Park.
Nebraska football is making a comeback for the spring game.
And men's tennis is facing off against Ohio State.
It has been another busy week in Husker sports. The Nebraska Nightly sports director Trey Marler is here with more. Trey?
It is official. Alcohol sales have been approved for Nebraska baseball and softball games. Nebraska Nightly's Peyton Gherkin has more from Haymarket Park.
With a vote of 5-2, the Board of Regents has officially approved for alcohol sales at Haymarket Park during baseball and softball games. This is now the second sporting event that has allowed for alcohol sales during the games, the first being Pinnacle Bank Arena last season. This will be effective immediately for tonight's game against Maryland. The first pitch will be thrown at 6 o'clock. Reporting from Haymarket Park, Peyton Gherkin, Nebraska Nightly Sports.
Thanks, Peyton. Again, those sales will be available at both baseball and softball. We're just 8 days away from the 2024 Nebraska football spring game. The Huskers are looking to bounce back from their 5-7 finish last season, and defensive coordinator Tony White made note that it all starts with next Saturday.
All about the build up to Saturday, right? Because Saturday is just like a game, and that's where you really get a chance to say, okay, this is who I am.
You know, practice is going to be tough. You know, that's what it's meant for. If your practice is not as hard as the game, then you're not having a great practice.
Nebraska men's tennis is back at home tonight as they face off with #1 Ohio State. Admission is free for all students, and there will be a raffle for a 43-inch TV. And for all Greek life students, the house with the most students will win a cash prize. Match is set for 5 Central at the Sid and Hazel Dillon Tennis Center.
I, Jim Pillen, Governor of the great state of Nebraska, hereby proclaim Keisei Tamanaga, Nebraska's Goodwill Ambassador to Japan. And I do hereby urge all citizens to take due notice.
Tamanaga got one final surprise Thursday afternoon when he was named an Admiral of the Great Navy of the state of Nebraska by Governor Jim Pillen, the highest civic honor in the state. In more basketball news, 3 Huskers that entered the portal have found new homes. Eli Rice stays in the conference and is headed to Penn State. Jamarcus Lawrence moves back close to home and he commits to Rhode Island. And finally, Matar Diop is headed to Loyola Marymount.
Well, you know, I'm curious to see the effect that the alcohol sales are going to have in
I would
games.
say it boosted attendance for PBA and basketball, and right now the Huskers are kind of on a skid. So yesterday, Will Bolt made note that he kind of hopes that these sales kind of help boost the morale of the team, boost the crowd, and then we'll see tonight. Here in about an hour and a half, there'll be live, and there'll be baseball in Haymarket Park with beer. So
for sure.
We'll see
It'll
how
definitely
it goes.
make a lot of fans happy.
Definitely will make the fans happy. We'll see how much. Maybe not the umpires. If the umpire makes a bad call, could get a little sideways. But we'll see.
Yeah, oh indeed.
Coming up on Nebraska Nightly.
Exciting news for the Swifties.
An NLE Choppa at Pinnacle Bank Arena after the break.
Okay, so how about this much?
I don't know.
Well, how about this much?
I don't know.
How about,
Actually, I don't know.
okay, maybe this much?
I don't know.
The very tip of your pencil, a fraction of a raindrop, 3 grains of salt. That's how much it takes for a dose of fentanyl to become lethal. Learn more at realdealonfentanyl.com.
It's a big weekend in Lincoln. Entertainment anchor Camille Andel is here with all the details. Camille?
First off, how are the Swifties doing today? Last night, Taylor Swift released her highly anticipated album, The Tortured Poets Department, with 16 heart-wrenching songs. But that's not all she had up her sleeve. While Swift fans were busy listening to the new album, a new countdown for 2 hours started on her Instagram profile, leaving fans wondering what it meant. At 1 a.m. our time, Taylor Swift released the Tortured Poets Department Anthology, making it a double album with 15 extra songs on top of her original 16. For those of you who are still recovering and need some fellow Swifties to talk to, don't worry. The Bourbon Theater is hosting Taylor Fest tonight at 9 p.m. Doors open at 8, and you can get your tickets now for just $25 at www.bourbontheater.com. And if you're not a Taylor Swift fan but still want some live music this weekend, don't worry. Tomorrow, Saturday, April 20th, NLE Choppa is coming to the Pinnacle Bank Arena. UNL students can buy general admission floor tickets for only $15 with their end cards at the UPC office. Non-UNL students can purchase tickets for $35 through Ticketmaster. Doors open at 7 p.m. with Montez Beats kicking off the show at 8, so get your tickets now. So you have choices, NLE Choppa, Taylor Swift, or if you're of age, drink some beer at the ballpark. But that's not all. If you still haven't had enough music this weekend, Campus Nightlife is hosting Music Bingo Night in the Nebraska Union Regency Suite. Students can play for free and have the chance to win amazing prize packages. Show up tonight at 6 p.m. and bring your friends. Lastly, with Earth Day coming up on Monday, Bike LNK and Lincoln Earth Day is hosting a pre-event bike ride tomorrow morning. Those wanting to participate can meet at the corner of 19th Street and Transformation Drive at 8:50. The ride will start at 9.
Nebraska Nightly has the opportunity to collaborate with UNL Communications and 1011 News. Nebraska Nightly's Elena Tomish brings us our segment This Week at UNL.
A new initiative saves Husker students big bucks on textbooks. Over the past 2 years, the library's course materials program has purchased more than 6,000 ebooks with unlimited user licenses. The ebooks are free to all students and available on day 1 of classes. The program has already saved UNL students an estimated $1.7 million. So far, the free ebooks have been used by more than 23,000 students enrolled in about 600 courses. A local cultural center seeks help from UNL's College of Architecture. The Lincoln Indian Center was built in 1980 and it's showing its age. The Native community asked Husker architecture students to find ways to make better use of building and enhance the surrounding grounds. At an open house, teams of architecture and landscape architecture students present their renovation designs to community members.
We are working closely with the community. We're hosting a lot of community engagement events where we are asking very specific questions regarding values, history, traditions, the general journey of the site and of the building, just so that we can get a better understanding of how they already use it and to identify opportunity for further expansion and programming.
It's the most community engagement we've ever had in a project, and being able to come and visit the Indian Center here has been really insightful, and getting to meet with the whole community. So that's been definitely the most unique part of the project.
I'm awestruck in a lot of the ways, and how much effort they really put into it, the research that they put into it, little details like how there's a renovation that they want to put a balcony on here, and they use the concept of the teepee poles and the circle, and they incorporated that into like the balcony, things like that, like little details that they put into it that shows that they put a lot of research and a lot of thought, a lot of learning, getting the input from our elders and other people that have come in. They've really done a great job, so I'm very impressed. I would love to keep working with them.
Students gathered feedback from the Native community, which they will incorporate into their final proposals. Husker students celebrate a colorful Indian festival. Holi is the ancient Hindu festival of colors, love, and spring. UNL's Indian Student Association hosts the 2-day event with music, fun, and lots of colored powders. The festival celebrates the arrival of spring, the end of winter, and the blossoming of love. And that's what's happening this week at UNL. I'm Elena Tomish.
Let's have one more look at the weekend's forecast. Dominic?
Well, we'll ditch the clouds at the start of this weekend. Partly cloudy skies on Saturday, 55 degrees for your temperature. And then Sunday, 63 degrees, mostly sunny skies. However, those clear skies aren't sticking around for too much longer. Monday, we'll have some AM showers, then move to cloudy skies. 74 degrees for your high. So typical springtime Nebraska, you know, we're going through sunny skies. We got rain earlier this week, and then we'll be back in sunny about midweek next week. And you know, at this point, just about anything could happen.
That honestly sounds like great weather. I've been meaning to get out and walk the dog. I'm really looking forward to it.
Sounds like some great weather to drink some alcohol at Haymarket Park if you're of age.
There you go,
Of course. Of course.
Absolutely.
Nebraska Nightly is a production of the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on Nebraska Nightly.